So it's either season 3 of The Mandalorian episode 1 or what I like to call the Book of Noba Fett. But before we get into that, Josh, let's get into this. All right, welcome back to Book of Boba Fett Breakdown. I am here with Josh today. As you can see, the screen looks a little different because there's only 2 of us. Unfortunately, Bailey had to call in sick tonight, so we wish her well. Those of you that know, Bailey talks about it often. She's a teacher. And if you've either had kids or you've been a kid, which theoretically should be everybody in this chat room right now, you know that schools are petri dishes for sickness and germs. Am I right there, Josh?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit, right? So the fact that Bailey is as healthy as she is something to be marveled over, but she won't be able to make it tonight. So what we decided to do was to get another Taylor, Bailey Taylor, Paul Taylor. We decided to get another Taylor involved in this. And I just looked about, family wide, and I got my brother, Alan, who's going to step in and join us tonight as a co-host. So with that, let's get him in here.
Good evening.
You're such
Welcome to another exciting edition of Paul's Collectibles, featuring Alan Blaze.
Perfect. That's you. You couldn't have come in any better way, you dork. I love it. Yeah. Oh my God. Let me make sure your mic's set correctly here. We're good. Alan, Josh, Alan, you guys have met. It's good to see you both again. But Al, thanks for joining us and stepping in.
Not
Bailey.
a problem. Happy to be here.
The interesting thing about this is and forgive the term, but I think think this is the best way to describe it. You're kind of a pedestrian Star Wars fan, as opposed to say me and Josh, who were kind of in this. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think Star Wars is cool. Always been around it, especially when I was a kid at the house and you lived in that same house because you had Star Wars stuff. I would get some of the hand-me-down toys, and those would become the monsters that fought against G.I. Joe and rare occurrences. But yeah, I like Star Wars as much as anybody, but I'm not deeply knowledgeable about it. But I do watch everything that comes out. So I do believe I've seen it all. I've seen it all.
Oh, cool. Well, it's going to be interesting to compare and contrast how you and Josh see each of these scenes today. And another fun fact, anybody who's watched any of my videos, hell, you heard some of the music on the way in here. That's Al's doing. Al, you do a lot of my music for my show.
Yeah, for a long time, I've done music production and a lot of the instrumental work that I've done. Like, I do some lyric stuff as well. I used to tour around, but these days I'm an instructional technologist, a casual Star Wars fan, and a musician and gamer by hobby. So, mind you, the thing I'm trying to promote more than anything is this here. If you could go to my Twitch page, even if you don't like Twitch, even if you don't like gaming, just hit the follow button. You'll be helping a brother out. Trying to get an affiliate status on there.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
Absolutely shameless. Follow my shit.
Welcome to the 2-hour Alan Taylor commercial, right?
Right. And that's where I begin this 4-hour 2-part series on my gaming channel. No, but I do like some media production as well. So some of the graphics and things like that, my girlfriend did for Paul, and like those cool animated intros and things like that. All that kind of stuff. Some of the music.
Your girlfriend did this. Great work. She did my logo for me. So
it was good design.
Well, it's good to have you. For those of you who aren't sure, because I'm sure Alan is going to make it blatantly obvious, down below you'll see the banner where you can get a hold of Josh on Twitter and Alan on Twitch. And he streams video games and stuff as well. It's entertaining and fun to watch. So if you're into that, go ahead and follow him down there. But before we get started, Josh, how are you doing, sir? It feels like I'm ignoring you, man. How's it going?
No, man, I'm good. I'm good. I didn't know I could call out sick. Like, how long do I have to be with the company before I start earning PTO?
Right. Well, it's funny that you should mention that because my HR director is on the show tonight, and he'll send you a packet. Okay, so
wasn't it like just last week you were talking about how I do everything behind the scenes? It's so much work. Well, it sounds to me like maybe not so much. I'm just saying, it's okay, Paul.
You know what? My motto is never let facts get in the way of a good story. Okay, that's what I always. Okay. All right. Well, let's head over to the comments and see who we got with us, who's brave enough to join us tonight. Hey, there's Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Oh, and we can begin now, Josh, because we got Chat Legend.
Hey,
Hey, what's up, man? Mando Animations, good to see you. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Gary, the most professional looking guy on YouTube. Yeah,
This Mandalorian.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we loved this Mandalorian episode for sure. Crazy, good to see you.
This is the way.
Yeah, this is definitely because it definitely wasn't Boba Fett. Oh, Flex, it's good to see you.
Hey, Flex.
There you go. There's one of my favorite, Michael Hendrickson.
Hey, Michael.
Been with me since the beginning. Love it. A little bit of Rick. Never hurts.
Rick.
Yeah. Let's get on down. There's JT. JT is one of our OG
JT.
followers as well.
Hey ho.
Ho, check it out. The Book of Nova Fett.
Yeah, you got to run those jokes past people before you just open with that, Paul. I'm just saying.
That's why I never tell you guys, because you'll be like, no dad jokes, please. No dad jokes. I just do them. David, good to see you.
Hey, David.
Oh, there we go. The world is as it should be. Linda, it's always good to see you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
My fellow mod.
Yes, that's right. And check it out. Josh and Alan. Alan, you're now part of royalty.
I'm in here.
Yeah, you're here. And if Linda has accepted you, you're part of the family now. So you're good. The other family. I'm stuck with you in the real world.
You're stuck. Yeah, there's no way
I
out.
know. Yeah.
We've checked.
There's 7 of us, Josh. Alan's the youngest. So
Lord.
He got everything growing up. Anyway. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I know that's not accurate, but it's fun.
It turns into like Jason's family like therapy session,
right?
No.
Poor Josh. We're just gonna you and I screaming
Just
back and
argue
forth
all
on
the
that.
time.
Yeah, right. Jason's good to see you. All right, KC.
Hey,
Good to
Casey.
see you, man. And I saw Artisher was involved again. We're gonna get to that pretty quickly. There's G-Force. Yeah, that's not Bailey.
That's not Bailey. Yes, it is.
Shockingly, Alan has glasses too. I'm the only one that's ever on this stream that doesn't wear glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys know how I do. Scuba Pete's in the house.
Hey,
Good to see you,
Pete.
Scuba.
Scuba Pete.
Wow, it is hopping again, you guys. I'm not going to be able to keep up if we get any more popular.
An arrow hits him.
Yeah.
A little note that says stop.
Right, yeah. Josh, you're in charge now. Oh, yeah. There's Ed 5. Peter from New Zealand.
Peter.
It's good to see you. Man, everybody's in the house tonight, man. Getting a good. Let me get through here real quick. I want to make sure. All right. Chanti just dropped by. She's at a birthday party tonight, she said, but
Hey,
she dropped by. Yeah, we love her. Ish Cardona. Good to see you. Yeah. Oh my God. I wish you could see this, Josh. You probably can. It's crazy. Let me just make sure I don't offend. All right. And then one last person. There's Wizzy Wiz. Good to see you, darling. All right. So we are back. Book of Boba Fett, the return of the Mandalorian. And man, they were not kidding. If you're looking for any of the actual show we're talking about, you're out of luck tonight, right? So, so Josh, just to kind of ease Alan into this a little bit, I'm going to start with you if you don't mind, and then he can kind of play off of what you got going on. So we'll start right off the bat. We talked about this going in here. I was like, first scene. Oh, I guess we're back on Earth, but why don't you tell us what we got here and what's going on and what you thought?
Oh, well, he's heading into this meat market in Philly or Chicago to punch some meat because he's practicing for the big fight. I mean, it still has a Star Wars look to it. It isn't so much the set that bothers me; it's more the costuming. Okay. Some of them are literally wearing actual like Earth clothes. And I don't get that. I feel like we went back in time, but it's dog people. It's kind of weird. But it's okay. I'm not going to complain. It's still had the look and feel that I've been wanting, which is a cinematic appeal. It has the right lighting and the right type of camera angles, and the settings don't look so closed in and honestly fake. They look much more expansive, and potentially something that's actually there. So yeah, I can't complain. There were some things that it's like, oh really, they didn't really try hard on that, but all in all, I was okay with it.
Fair enough. Alan, before I get to you, there's Shabby. Good to see you, Shabby. Yeah,
hey.
Always. Alan, I know you're watching this show and you're just kind of like, when you first saw this scene though, like what was going through your head?
Well, I've been following along with a lot of the episodes as you guys have covered them. And one of the complaints is how a lot of things look a little too clean and a little too neat. There's not this element of damage and grit, something that we're used to seeing with especially like the older episodes or like the films. And that carries over. Some of these things are a little sterile. They're a little like too perfect. And some of that ugliness in the backgrounds creates a lot of character that oftentimes is missing. And without going too far ahead, I agree. When I saw this, I felt the same way. I was like, this is a little too clean, a little too familiar, too crisp. And I'm looking for something a little otherworldly and just like that familiar, dusty Star Wars vibe. But it did get better at times. But this starting off was kind of like
Right. Yeah, I was a little worried. I'm like, oh, we're already right here.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't get. We'll talk about that more. I didn't get that feeling through the rest of the episode.
Right.
Really quick. There's Muzza. Good to see you, Muzza. Yeah, in the house. So I love it coming through the plastic. He pauses for a moment. And you're like, wow, dramatic effect, much.
Yeah.
And then
the plastic, especially, I was like, wow, that's just straight up meat market. Yeah.
That was super.
Like, they don't have something slightly different in Star Wars. Come on.
They should do something else, like a bantha skin or something hanging down, slashed a few times.
Oh, that's very sterile.
Yeah.
Very sterile. Very clean.
I'm not buying meat from this place. That's a skin. Okay, no.
It's got an F rating on the health scale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Quick aside, we did this at the end of the last episode. The beginning of this episode, guess what? This is my buddy Artisher Radpour again playing this Clatoonian. Apparently, poor Artisher is typecast. He's got to be Clatoonian bad guy leaders, right? Did you guys? What did you think of the performance on this one, objectively?
It was good. I didn't have a problem with it. It was the character that he was. The whole scene was something we've seen a million times in tons of other media, but yeah, he played the part well. All the mannerisms, everything about it felt very natural. None of it felt fake or staged. I enjoyed the scene.
Yeah, he was no George Clooney, but he was pretty good.
No.
It's genetic. It's genetic. Steve Jobs is genetic.
That's comedy gold. No, you did a good job.
They're here all night, folks.
Oh, he's here all night. Yeah. Oh my God. If KC's still in the chat, he might know, but I haven't had a chance to reach out to Artie and ask him. I think that might be his voice this time because they didn't credit him as performance artist. So who knows? But anyway, just wanted to point that out. I get a kick out of the fact that somebody gets to live the Star Wars dream on this. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, wow. Alan, I'm going to start with you this time. This Saber fight where he's taking on these guys. What'd you think of this, man? What's going on here?
Well, one of the things that came across my mind as I was watching the scene is it's nice to see the hero kick some ass. You know what I mean? As opposed to get his ass kicked. So he was just handling this room full of people, throwing people over stuff. And he's a lot more. It seems like Boba is a little more considerate of everyone. You know what I mean? Like for the most part,
right.
With the exception of the Kraken that he choked out. But he's cutting through stuff here. Yeah. And it was just fun watching the hero take charge of a room and kick everybody's butt, and it felt Star Wars-ish. You know what I mean? It was just like a good time.
Yeah, I agree. Josh, what did you get from this scene? What did you think of it?
I thought it was great. The reality of it is I thought the entire episode was great.
Right.
But it was an episode of The Mandalorian. It was Boba Fett was mentioned one time in one line at the very end of the show by The Mandalorian. So and at the end of it, I wasn't left wanting to see what's going to happen next to our title character. I was left saying, I really hope that they continue telling this story because I'm really bored with the other one. It's unfortunate.
Oh, so really quick, there's Gordo. It's good to see him.
Hey, Papa.
And Rolando snuck in on us as well.
Rolando.
So we need to have so I got a kick out of the fact that he's obviously not trained with this sword. He's cutting meat in half and everything like that. But let's just address the elephant in the room right now. Josh, Alan, how are we going to come at this episode? As if it's season 1 of episode 3 of The Mandalorian and just look at it from that perspective? Or are we going to give it a 0 and say all these scenes need to go to hell because this is not Book of Boba Fett? What say you guys?
I don't know, we might need to have 2 separate ratings, as a Mandalorian episode and as a Book of Boba Fett episode.
Right.
I mean, we have to take the good with the bad, but overall, I felt like the episode was really good. So I don't know. I don't know how to really approach it. We could save that other stuff for the end if you want to.
I'm wondering if this was produced during, and maybe there's something that would obviously make this not the case, but if this was produced during the Mandalorian production, like the bulk of that, and they were holding on to this, and then maybe edited in a piece or something that brought it all together, because it just doesn't seem like it was filmed during the Xena Princess Warrior version of Boba Fett that's been going on. You know? Like it's just it's like this awesome episode shoehorned in to this otherwise Kmart bin of production. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
no, it is for sure.
That's a very good point. So I tell you what, here's what I propose, guys. We'll just unattach the part of our brains that say this is not Book of Boba Fett, and we'll just pretend that this is season.
Just analyze the show.
Yeah. Analyze this outside of everything
as
else.
A singular standalone episode of something Star Wars.
Exactly. And then when we get to the end, we'll do 2 number ratings for 1 to 10 Book of Boba Fett episode, 1 to 10 Mandalorian episode. And that's where, Josh, you can just that chainsaw and go to town.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Oh, my God. Okay, so I love having KC in the chat because he said this was actually shot during Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, okay.
As an episode of Book of Boba Fett. And
that's actually really good news because I was hoping that it wasn't like, because I saw The Mandalorian, I was hoping that it's like, all right, is that it? The Mandalorian days are done, and it's going to be Boba Fett style from here on out. So this actually gives me some hope that it's like, all right, these are just 2 different brands. And even though me personally, I'm not a big fan of Boba Fett, the Book of Boba, the show, or Boba Fett as a character, but it is cool to, I do respect the fact that some people do like this show and that this is their jam. They enjoy the whole style of it. So it's nice you get a best of both worlds situation.
Right.
It frustrates me more, honestly, because then I'm wondering, why doesn't the rest of the show look like that?
Yeah, I don't know if they have like you have a style guide. They're like, we're gonna Boba Fett this one, and then we're gonna Mandalorian.
Yeah. It was so weird. That's an excellent point, because right in the middle of Book of Boba Fett, we were reminded, other than the Chicago Meat House, what these can look like, and I'm like, what are we doing here? So,
would you?
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly.
Oh boy,
I have a soundboard.
Yeah, I know. Al, check it out.
No silence is in here.
Yeah,
hey, welcome.
Yeah. So you'll see No Silencer on a lot of Alan's game streams. He's a cool guy. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I told a few people about this, so they might pop in.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Cool. And Casey, Bryce has better vision as well. Yeah, so they need to put her on the Book of Boba Fett or something.
No, this was what I was waiting for. I knew her episode would be amazing.
Absolutely. Josh, let's stick with you, man. I pulled this picture because we're getting kind of a different version of the Mandalorian here. Did you feel like he was a lot more brutal because he didn't have Grogu with him, or because he was hurt, or what's going on here? What did you think of him, the way he handled the end of this?
I mean, there's a lot of factors involved. Part of it being the saber itself and his difficulty wielding it, and his unfamiliarity with it. And I do think he held back a little bit when it came to Grogu being around. I mean, he still wasn't afraid to do. I mean, he was going to fight and kill Cobb Vanth right in front of him. So, I mean, he even pointed out, he's like, right here in front of the kid, and he's like, So, I mean, I think that his brutality is there at all times. I just feel like this gave him a very special, unique opportunity to really display it. And I loved seeing the carnage. I mean, it just reminded me what a complete badass he is. I mean, I love the character. I have from the start. And it's what I wanted to see more of from Boba Fett, and what I expected to see, and have not yet.
Mm-hmm.
And probably won't at this point.
Yeah, fair enough. Alan, I know you've been watching our episodes. We've talked about maybe some of what we're seeing is because it's on Disney Plus and they're trying to tone it down. Well, obviously we were wrong. He just chopped his dead body in half. Am I right? Did you catch that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking as well. Is and going up to this point is like, okay, so this is they're trying to make it a little lighter for the kids, and yeah, the first thing that popped into my mind is like that. No, that isn't the case. Just like you just said, because he went through that room brutally, and I always kind of looked at Boba Fett as like somebody who's supposedly much more powerful than like even the Mandalorian or something, like much more trained. He's like this feared bounty hunter, but I do want to see some more of that, like later on in episodes, where you get to see, oh, okay, so here's the Boba we all have heard about,
Right.
So,
I know people are getting upset because they're like, "Oh, you just canoned him in your head, and that's why you're mad." But I'm pretty sure we were told in official canon that Boba Fett was the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, which would mean he'd have to be kind of badass. Am I wrong, Al?
well, I know that, and I'm not even like a super fan, so you know what I mean. Like, they say that. They even say that in the way that they react to him in the earlier episodes of Book of Boba. They say things, about him as this legendary bounty hunter.
Yet he's so bumbling. Like, I mean, everything he's doing, like it seems like he has no idea what he's doing. Or,
right.
I mean, the fact that the whole break into Jabba's palace, it wasn't that hard. I don't really see that he needed Finnick to totally bail him out on that one. But I mean, it was still an awesome scene for the most part, except the kitchen stuff. But we won't get into that. Yeah, the Tom and Jerry scene in the middle of Star Wars, it's fun. We've seen worse in it. So, but yeah, it's it is what it is. I don't know.
Absolutely. Really quick, Christian, thanks for stopping by. I know it's like 37 o'clock in the morning where you
Thank
live,
you, Christian.
So appreciate that.
Yeah, go to sleep.
Yeah, no doubt.
While you can.
Yeah, right. Because new baby. This is jumping ahead a little bit, but he did say, "Hey, I'm willing to help you, but I got to go see a little kid first." So I think Michael might be right. We got to be going right back to this next episode. We'll see.
I have a theory about that, but we'll get into it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can wait till later if you want, or you can talk about it now. It's up to you.
Well, I mean, we can talk about it now. But yeah, basically, to me, I think that's a clue that we're going to get another season of Book of Boba. I think that all of this is going to build to something, like build to the verge of that war that's coming, and we're not really going to get that until season 2, and that'll be when all the pieces really fall into place and the action happens. I think that they're doing kind of a slow burn, sort of like they did with the first season of Mandalorian. It's just not as interesting visually or story wise, but I think that we're going to get a second season, and I think that this is kind of an allusion to that.
That's a good point too. Yeah. Because we're running out of time. What has he got? 3 episodes left?
Yeah, I think they're going to skip in. We're going to see Din Djarin go to visit Grogu in season 3 of Mandalorian, and then he'll turn back up for the war in season 2 of Book of Boba. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think you're probably, that sounds logical at this point. Alan, Shabby makes a good point here. You and I were talking about this on the phone earlier. I think Disney has made the Mandalorian cooler than Boba Fett on purpose because he's their product. And, Alan and I were talking earlier about I don't know why or if they're deliberately doing it, but it seems all the OG stuff, like, when in the sequels and stuff. Yeah. Alan, is that your supposition as well? Or do you think they might be doing something different here or by accident?
There's a lot of different ways to think about it, but it might just be coming down to those directors. Like it can't be a coincidence that the better stuff is directed by certain people, so maybe that's the case, maybe it's just who we're getting on staff for what, but who directed was it multiple people, all these prior episodes of Book of Boba? It was. Okay. But it wasn't right.
Yeah. Robert Rodriguez did 2 of them.
Okay.
I know that.
I'd have to research that more deeply later on. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with it. But I do know that this is what I know. I have a good time when Mandalorian's on screen. Not having such a good time when Boba's on screen. So.
Josh, did you have an opinion on what Shabby was talking about there? Because it almost feels deliberate. Like they're like, you old guys that like Luke and Leia and Boba Fett can, because we're bringing in the new. Like, people are screaming about Kathleen Kennedy and that. Do you think that's
I've heard all kinds of things. I've heard that they actually have to pay George Lucas to use some of those legacy characters. And that is why they want to steer clear of them as much as possible. That's why, Galaxy's Edge is something completely new and not something that's a recreation of stuff we've seen before with characters that we're that we know walking around. It's all sequel trilogy stuff. So that's what I've heard. I don't know if there's any legitimacy to that. And if that's the case, I mean, I guess I can understand them kind of wanting to do their own thing, but at the same time, they do have to at least address those characters. But I guess the easiest way to do it is to tear them down and make them uninteresting or kill them off. And unfortunately, I think we're just going to continue to get a lot of that with those older characters.
Yeah, good point. At least that's what I'm saying. Go out.
The thing is like I'm thinking from a money standpoint, they're going to want to make the best entertainment product that they can, because the legacy characters or whoever they're bringing in is making a good show is going to make money. So I'm sure they wouldn't want to deliberately do anything to make any characters look bad to like boost anything else up, because that's not fiscally responsible.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You know what? It's all
you would think that.
supposition. Yeah,
You would think.
Yeah. It's and the funny thing is, it's all us just sitting out here guessing, because unless you guys know something I don't know, I don't think any of us were in the Disney shareholder producers meeting. Yeah, so
well, if you want, I could bring George. Come over here real quick. Let me give him the mic.
Yeah,
it's like, well, it's like poetry.
There's Blue. Good to see you. And yeah, it was a good episode of Mando for sure. And then Joe Blake just got here. Where's the lady? Alan, use a higher voice. Exactly. Bailey called in sick tonight. So he goes and drops off the head with the lady, and turns out he's looking for some information and not really a bounty so much. But before he heads down to where he was looking for the location of something, we're not sure what yet, but we're guessing. Josh, so they're trying to show that Boba Fett is vulnerable in his show. And then we get this where, where he accidentally cut himself with his own lightsaber. Is this better than what they're doing in the Book of Boba Fett, even though this is an episode, or what's going on?
It's a cautionary tale. No, I think that this is just, it's not about showing the character's vulnerability. It's more about showing his inexperience and inability with that weapon. And so I feel like it serves a purpose story-wise. I don't know that Boba coming off super weak in all of the episodes because he's healing is particularly serving a purpose other than for us to get the back to tank of remembrance. So
flashback to tank.
The flashback to tank, yeah.
Right, yeah.
The way back to machine.
Yeah. But no, this to me I think very much serves a purpose of just showing that he's got some stuff to learn. He doesn't know everything. He's not that good.
Right.
You're not that guy, pal.
Yet.
You're not that guy. Al, did you have anything to add to that? Is that what you got from this quick, him looking down at his leg and limping thing?
About the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, so there's my wife. Always likes to pop in for at least comments. Sarah, it's good to see you. And we have an inside joke about shareholder meetings and stuff that she happened to just check the stream while we're talking about that. And then Casey makes a good point here. And like I said, I love having Casey here and getting his input because he's an AD. He's in the industry down. He's like, you wouldn't make an entire series spending so much time and money to purposely downgrade a character. It's been poor directing. Score one for Al. Good for you. Yeah. I think it's just the directors. So you're not as dumb as I think you are.
Casey, I'll send you that PayPal later.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Yeah. There's everybody saying hi. Dark Saber. Yeah. Let's get on down here. Make sure I'm not missing anything good. And then we'll move on. Yeah, flex. Oh, thank you, Joe Blake. Thank you very much. She just gets busy and tired sometimes. I think she'll be fine and be back next episode. So, Alan was nice enough to jump in for us.
Yeah, she was sick of Book of Boba. That's what.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, this is starting to turn into a job. I tell you. Oh my God. There you go. Yeah, he's got tons of Beskar armor on. He's just not that one part. Mm-hmm. So, no, good point, Gary. So I thought this was interesting, Josh. You know what's going on here. If you don't mind, I'll start off with you again. He gets downstairs and we start getting a lot of exposition here. Tell me what's going on and what you thought of how they filled this in.
Oh, I love this scene. Man, this was Star Wars at its best. Like we're getting some lore. We're getting to see a new, really exciting setting. I mean, that's what I love the most about this episode is right off the bat. He's going to this crazy ring world.
Yeah.
You know, it's like something out of Elysium or Halo or something, and it's just this really cool Star Wars setting, and it still looked Star Wars, even though it was something we'd never seen on the screen before for Star Wars. It still looked and felt Star Wars, and it's what I've been wanting. That's a big issue that I have with. I mean, I know that the syndicates are there on Tatooine, and the setting is part of what requires them to be there, or the story. But I want to see other places. Why can't Boba go somewhere else and recruit some help or whatever? Yeah, it was great getting to see this new world, and this whole scene. I mean, I knew immediately when he started looking on the walls, with his predator vision, that he was gonna, and he sees those markings, that it was obviously leading him to a new culvert, which was something that I was expecting to show up. And I don't think that the title necessarily refers specifically, just like I've said about the title of his own series, I don't think it specifically refers to Din Djarin. I think it's about the Mandalorian as a people. And I think this was the return of the Mandalorian. It's reminding us, no, there's still a few of them out there, and they're all going to be key players later. And especially the ones that survive, particularly. So yeah, I mean, I loved hearing. I mean, even though those that have watched the Clone Wars know a lot of the history of the Dark Saber already, it was still really cool getting to see it in live action and hear it told the way that it was told. And then there's the whole story about the hero that will save Mandalore riding in on a mythosaur, which, we think, well, that can't happen because they're supposed to be extinct. But, it makes me wonder about my whole theory that perhaps Boba Fett may eventually end up ruling Mandalore and lead them into battle atop his Rancor instead of his mythosaur.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a reason that she told that story. It wasn't just she's ad-libbing because she just thought it was cool and they're like, yeah, we like that. There's definitely a purpose behind it, and I think that's going to allude to something that'll happen later, or who knows, they may find some under the surface of Mandalore, but it's definitely all leading to going to Mandalore.
I totally agree with you. Really quick, Alan, I'm going to move over to you in just a second, but I just want to say hi to Tina, one of our newest fans. And Pete makes a point here, and then Al, I'm going to go to you. Did you guys notice on the ring, parts of it are cut out, so there's night and day as it rotates around, which I thought was
that's cool.
Is a silly little thing that I noticed. But I'm like, oh look, part of it is daylight and part of it's nightlight. But Alan, when you saw this scene and you saw what was going on, first of all, what did you think of it? But second of all, and I'm not being disrespectful, how much of this just went right over your head and you're like, well, that sounds cool, I have no idea what's going on though?
Well, yeah, no disrespect taken.
Okay.
A lot of this stuff goes over my head, but I just sort of wait for them to fill it in. With information like the Dark Saber, I remember seeing it. He got that from the Mandalorian during the Mandalorian series, right? When he killed that dude. But I had forgotten about that thing. But I just thought, for me, I'm just like, that's a cool ass lightsaber. You know what I mean? And when she starts talking about it, it's like really interesting. But, going off of what Josh said, for me, this whole scene was just seeing Boba Fett move around. It's sort of like a breath of fresh air. It's like Boba Fett, the Book of Boba so far has felt very claustrophobic. You're just, you're stuck, So it felt like being home all day, and you finally just got out and went on a trip. It's like, cool. Let's go with my cool cousin who actually goes places. Go see some new things.
Right.
So that's what it felt like for me. And I enjoyed it. I was thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah, such cool environments and seeing them, in the the different aliens and whatnot when he got there was really cool. Are we there in that scene yet? Is that the part am I remembering that correctly, where he was dropping off the bounty?
Oh, I passed that right up. I'm sorry. That was this. Yeah, we got. We'll go back. We got an Ishitib. We got this woman. I don't know what she is. We got this guy. I don't know what that is. This guy looks actually Native American, which I thought was kind of interesting. And there's some others, but yeah, they're doing a good job of populating the environment with these different aliens, except for the biker gang. Would you not agree, Josh?
Well, yeah. Absolutely. That's exactly what I was going to say. Compare this to the biker gang that looked like a bunch of, models in their early 20s trying to sell clothes to teenagers. Magazine, yeah. Exactly. I love that that showed the diversity of Star Wars. There was a mixture of different humans and different aliens, and they all looked completely alien. Nothing about the clothes that they were wearing said, oh, yep, that's something I could buy at Hot Topic. I That's
It
I
felt very
love this
lived
scene.
in, you know. There's
It
like so
did,
much going
yeah.
on, and
Oh yeah,
it
I
was
love and it was like a one shot. You know, there was no cut as he's going up the elevator and coming out and everything, and it was just a great scene, and I really enjoyed it. And you very much got the feeling that he just really did not care about this job. He just wanted this information, and he needed to get on his way because he had better things to do. And I really enjoyed it because it felt like you were very much in the moment, not just watching something on TV. So yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah. The scene was Casey. The scene was amazing use of the volume, single shot and small set that looks huge because of the great vision, and it goes right back to what you've both been saying. And Alan, you just kind of hit it right on the head. I think the director, Bryce Dallas Howard, had a lot to do with this episode, and it just looked really cool. Alan, I love the way you put that. It's not as claustrophobic. We're not stuck on two streets in Tatooine, you know, the whole time. That was that's a great way to put that. So. The armor goes into exposition about because he asked her about Bo-Katan and, you know, where do you get the lightsaber and where's that spear from? And so he's telling her the story and he's like, have you heard of Bo-Katan? And she goes into this really cool exposition. And Alan, I'd like to start with you because anybody who's a reasonable Star Wars fan knows about this. But if you're just kind of casual, you may not know what the hell is going on here. So I want you to tell me what you thought about this and what you understand is going on and what she's talking about, if you don't mind.
Now, if memory serves, is this going into there was a war or something like this? This is like a extermination type of event that Terminator style. Is that what we're talking about?
Josh?
No, I mean, as far as the Bo-Katan, the cautionary tale, as she referenced it as, now that's Clone Wars era history because Bo-Katan's sister Satine was a former girlfriend of Obi-Wan Kenobi's, and she was the ruler of Mandalore during an era when Mandalore was trying to be a peaceful civilization, and that's when the idea of taking your helmets off and dropping off these warrior ways kind of came into effect, and it ended badly with Darth Maul killing her in front of Obi-Wan, and at the time Bo-Katan was actually working for Darth Maul because she was part of a terrorist group called Death Watch. And that's where you're introduced to Pre Vizsla, which was the guy who had the Dark Saber that they kind of reference when Paz Vizsla, the heavy Mandalorian, decides he's going to get mad and try to take it from Din Djarin. And he's the one that kind of introduced the Dark Saber into Star Wars. So it's very much kind of going back to the beginnings of the lore of the Dark Saber, I guess, to a certain extent. And eventually the Dark Saber, it goes to Darth Maul, and then eventually it's gotten by...
You got all that, Alan?
Yeah, you got...
Will there be a quiz?
I know.
Anyway, eventually it's gotten by Sabine Wren in Rebels, and then Sabine chooses to give it to Bo-Katan instead of her winning it in battle, which is why they suspect Mandalore fell. And then that leads us to the destruction of Mandalore, the Night of a Thousand Tears. So there you go.
That part I remember. The Night of a Thousand Tears portion.
There's my TED talk on Bo-Katan.
Thank you for coming on my TED talk. My name is Josh. Yeah. So you have an idea what's going on here, Al? Now, do you, because towards the end when the Empire takes over, what did you get from this?
So this is, if giving you my brutally honest answer here. Yeah. Now, the portion you're asking me about is when he's talking to the armorer, and Paz was there, and they're okay. We're trying to figure out a few things. He's fixing the Mandalorian's leg, right?
Yeah, all that stuff.
This whole part, I'm just kind of watching it. When they started they launched into long dialogue. I'm just thinking stuff like, that's crazy. You can just fix somebody's leg like that. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. And then I'm looking at Paz's armor, and I'm like, man, that's a cool ass looking armor. Like, I like the way that armor looks. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my god,
good answer.
Yeah, that's an excellent answer. He's like, yeah, supposition.
I think that fur, the way they did the multicolors and the fur on her armor I like that. That's tight.
It's cool.
All right, that's fair. Yeah. I love it. That's absolutely fair.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm enjoying this.
I like this.
Oh my God. Anyway, so Josh, we'll go back to you. This is Night of 1,000 Tears. We get a couple of great images here. You know what I'm going to next, but this one, the TIE bombers, the cities. What did you think of this, man? Did you just get chills or what?
I did. I mean, this is what I've been wanting to see. This is the scale that I wanted to see in Star Wars. This is cinematic. I could totally see this up on the big screen and would just be wowed by this moment. I love seeing all the mushroom clouds coming up. So it's obvious that they just basically nuked the surface of Mandalore, which it has been referred to, being turned to glass, basically. So I mean, it's pretty awesome seeing that, and it definitely puts in perspective why they are really not happy with Moff Gideon, since he obviously had a big hand in that. So, right. Yeah, it was pretty epic.
Moff Gideon was responsible for millions of our people's death. That's wow. That's some next level stuff right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm with you, Josh. I saw this. I was like, empires flying. Why are we getting stuff like this in Boba Fett? But anyway, so Alan. Just so you know, there will be a test.
Oh God,
it's multiple choice.
It's multiple guess. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna throw you a softball, Alan. I'm gonna throw you a softball. All right. The next scene in this is the ground war. Okay, so all I want to know is what does this remind you of and why?
Oh, Terminator. Yeah, this is this is phenomenal. This is about where my brain kicked back in. I'm like, oh shit, look at that. This is like really cool. Also, I remember these little bots that are floating in the air. Weren't they like? I thought they were medical bots or something.
They're
but we don't
droids.
have to get into. Okay, there we go. Pro droids, yeah. I remember them from Dark Forces, the video game. They used to go. They make those little. I love those.
You're not authorized in this area. Yeah. They're called probe droids out. They were from the beginning of Empire Strikes Back in the snow.
They probe you.
Blows up. Yeah.
Oh wait a minute.
They don't probe
medical.
me.
Yeah, they're not medical droids. They're definitely not medical droids.
Different kind of probe.
Different kind of probe droid. So actually, Shabby's jumping ahead here, but we'll just go ahead and talk about it really fast. Good catch. This is why I use this photo. If you look down here, it's really eerie. Instead of skulls, you see all the Mando helmets.
Yeah, exactly. It's another callback to that shot in T2 with the skulls on the ground. And I'm sure there's probably some skulls in some of them, possibly.
Josh, what'd you think of this one, man?
No, I thought it was cool, man. It was wicked. I mean, it was cool seeing I mean, it is a little bit odd that they have basically spy droids and security droids attacking a civilization, but it could be because of the state of the surface. I mean, it's pretty epic. It was just a beautiful shot. And again, just the scope of it, the scale of it, it just seemed so much more grand, and it felt like Star Wars, something that's on a galactic scale, not just something happened in this dirt town.
Right. And you guys mentioned it. Now we get a much better feel for why they hate Moff Gideon so much. And number two, a good grasp on just how horrible the Night of 1,000 Tears was, as opposed to just trying to guess. But I'm glad you mentioned it, Josh, because it didn't bother me. I just thought it was a little odd. But when I saw the K2 droids as warriors, I was like, wow, because I know we have stormtroopers that can go into rad environments and stuff like that. But I thought that was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Oh, check this out, you guys. Bailey.
Hey, Bailey.
Hello there, everyone. I just wanted to pop in real quick to say that I love this episode of Mando. Right? Yeah. Seems like they took a break from the Boba show. See y'all next week. Force willing school children, don't kill me first. Exactly.
Right.
We were talking about the petri dish that is like classroom. So God bless you, Bailey. Yeah, no doubt. It was. That scene was a wizard.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Absolutely. I'm still trying to decide how I feel about it, but I got to be honest with you. I think I might have actually liked it. So
I liked it.
Yeah. So now we're going to play a game of supposition, guess and predict. Okay, guys. And Josh, we'll start out with you. So she tells him, "Hey, you're not supposed to have Mando's or Beskar spears. Beskar's supposed to be for armor." And he gives it to her. And it's like, "We'll forge something." Josh. Supposition. This is all we see other than the little baggie, and it's obviously small. What does she make for Grogu?
I'm assuming it's some sort of like chainmail, some sort of Beskar chainmail. maybe something that just kind of covers his upper body a little bit. I really can't. I can't see what else they might be making with that unless they plan on doing a lot of piercings on his ears. I mean, they're pretty long. You can hold a lot of them.
But, it's a Grogu Hot Topic version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Josh, you're fitting right in with my brother
the mod
here.
squad.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
But yeah, I think it's changed.
Okay. Alan, I know you don't have a lot of context for this. Hell, neither does Josh and I, because this whole Beskar thing is as new to us as it is to you. What are they making for the little guy here?
Same thing. I think the same. Yeah, it's got to be some type of armor. Chainmail makes sense. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you. But it's probably piercings. Not just double down on you. It's probably piercings. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. You know what? And Tina agrees. It's probably chainmail. That'll be interesting to see. Are we going to find out in Book of Boba Fett or The Mandalorian? What do you guys think? Josh, go first.
I don't know. I mean, if we're going to find out in The Mandalorian, then we're not going to get this big war if Din Djarin plans on being a part of it as he promised. That's going to have to wait until, like I said, a season 2 of Boba Fett. Otherwise, maybe they might choose to just have him go and then just come right back and not show him doing that. And maybe that'll be something we see in like a flashback or something in season 3. Or maybe we'll just see that side of the story and what it led to. So yeah, I don't know. They may decide to do a little bit of a time skip. It's possible, but I still think it's more of just a way to get us interested in season 3 of Mando and remind us that there is good Star Wars to watch. And then to
Uh-oh.
Is that okay? So that's not me, Al. That's Josh.
Yeah, it's connection.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Josh froze up on us. So in Josh's defense, he's in a hotel room on his laptop because last year was not good for him, Al. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Oh, no, I don't know the backstory.
Yeah, unfortunately, he had a house fire last year, and they're seeing it. Yeah, that's what you're seeing in the background is a hotel room. Hopefully, he'll figure out that he's frozen here in a second. Really quick, I just want to say hi to Edmo. Good to see you, man. It did, yeah, like a Game of Thrones tone we were expecting, right? There were stakes in this episode. But Al, back to the question I was asking Josh. When are we going to find out? Book of Boba Fett?
Mean, probably, Mandalorian, I would assume. But until then, it's just going to be a mystery. But maybe it's another drill.
The worst thing you can. You're having way too much fun with that soundboard. Oh my God.
I put it together especially for this podcast. Yeah, I don't know, but I do love the idea of Grogu in like a little suit of armor. That's like a little chainmail armor suit, especially as he grows. That's gonna be so cool. Yeah, him
chinking around. And yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah. I like how he gave up his spear and then she kicks him out and tells him he isn't a Mandalorian anymore. I was like, wow, no doubt, right? Yeah. Let's see. Kay says they're lock washers for his little speeder repairs. I don't know what a Weta workshop is. They found a few thousand of those ringlets from Weta. Do you know what that is, Al?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Got me on that one. And that even better. It's just a little necklace for Grogu.
It could be a necklace. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that was the necklace because there was a lot of supposition that he had made him another one of those like Mandalorian mythosaur things for him to wear.
Just to pop in here too, I just love the fact that Mandalorian has like this, such affection for this little guy. Like, you know what I mean? He treats it like it's his son. You know what I mean? You could see that throughout this episode, with the way he reacts to certain things that remind him of Grogu. That kind of stuff. I'm a dad. I can connect to that, and I think that's the thing about Star Wars too. Is going back, it's this thing about father and son, and brother and sister and all this kind of stuff. It's good, bad, and different. It's just like it ties you back to a family environment which everyone could relate to, so and I think maybe that's a little bit of something what's missing with they try to shoehorn it in with Boba Fett looking at his dad's helmet in the beginning, and try to reconnect through flashbacks with with Jango Fett. But I don't know, man. I think this kind of stuff it pulls on the heartstrings, and I dig it.
You know what? That's a good way to put that because we're going to get to a scene here in a minute. I don't think I got the actual picture, but that reminds us that I just think it's It's awesome.
Mhm.
Oh, Weta Workshop is where they made the chainmail for Lord of the Rings. That's what. Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. Didn't really miss his Grogu. And you could tell, even though he never took his helmet off this episode. And we're going to get into that a little bit too, Tina, for sure. The package she wraps is pretty small for armor. I agree. Hold on. Josh, how you doing, brother?
I'm back.
Okay. Yeah. So we were still just kind of sticking with the supposition on what he made for, and Alan was pointing out how that we're going to talk about this a little bit more too, how he's got a lot of depth of character because you can tell he's so into Grogu and misses him and stuff.
Yeah. It's sweet and endearing.
Yeah. That was good.
It is.
And did you notice how much it looked like a little Grogu, the little wrap?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the Black Series and Vintage Collection deluxe figure of Mando with Hanky.
Right. Yeah. If they give that little guy chainmail armor, I don't care if it's Black Series or Vintage Collection. I want that little guy in chainmail armor. That's going to be cool. So.
Oh yeah. He needs a helmet though. Oh, I want that helmet.
Like with horns on it and stuff.
Yes,
I wanted to total Viking
sick.
him out. Yeah, that'd be badass. So somebody mentioned it that in the chat and said, hey, did need some lightsaber lessons, which is shockingly where we're going next. And we got some interesting info about either how this lightsaber, but theoretically how other lightsabers work and things like that. Alan, I'm going to go back to you again because I'm having kind of fun picking on it because I want to see like the higher level perspective. What did you get out of this scene, and did you understand what they were talking about?
When you get the whole lightsaber talk with this Dark Saber, I think was that what they were calling it? Dark Saber?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Saber.
It's just so cool. Like I only have like a beginner's knowledge of how, the different colors and blah, blah, blah. But the thing that was really cool about this one to me is the fact that it's getting heavier as he fights against it. I think that everyone's going to enjoy that. That's just interesting and neat. And, yeah, it was cool watching, him kind of go through this training session with it. So for me, that was highly entertaining. I enjoyed that.
Cool. Josh, what did you get out of this one?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really cool. I definitely think that it has to do with the Kyber crystal inside and how they basically kind of are living entities in and of themselves, and they have to cooperate with their owner. And she talks about how the wrong people aren't supposed to be wielding it, and a lot of wrong people have had it up to this point. So I think the blade is stubborn right now, and it needs to have faith in its wielder again. And I think that's what this journey is going to be all about.
It's like heavy Excalibur vibes. I like it.
Oh, that's a good point, Al. I'd
Very
forgotten
much
about
so.
that. Yeah. I'm going to put this up here probably against my better judgment. If only Mando was as strong as Rey Palpatine, she wields a saber after 30 seconds, right? So that's a good point. And I'd like to touch on that with you guys from your varying perspectives. Josh, let's go back to you. Gary makes a good point here. I got the impression from this scene that all lightsabers, just like you were saying, kyber crystals, cooperation, feel it, don't fight it. Is it just this one, or is it all of them? And if it's all of them, what's going on with Rey? Josh?
Yeah.
He said
she's just that powerful.
Okay. So it is all lightsabers.
She's a daughter of a clone of a I don't know what she is. But no, I think that from what we understand in the lore, they kind of call to the Jedi that build the lightsaber with them. So there's immediately that bond with them, and it just builds from there. And then with the Sith, they bleed the crystals. They basically break the will of the crystal and bend it to their own devices. So at that point, the crystal can't fight back anymore. So this is basically a crystal that is being used by someone that it doesn't want to be. So, yeah.
Alan, did you have any supposition, or did you get any of that from any of this, or were you just like, oh, cool saber?
Both, a little bit of both.
Okay.
I dig. I was picking up on like it's the sword is going to choose, or the saber is going to choose someone at some point. Maybe it's Mando, maybe it's not. But yeah, that was a really cool scene. I dug all that. It wasn't just as simple as I have this saber and I'm going to use it now. It was a little something extra there, and I dig that.
Right. So for Josh and I, who pay attention very closely to this this is the first we've heard that lightsabers you can't just pick them up and use them like we've seen some. This is the first we've heard. You got to practice with it. You got to become one with your crystal. So I got a kick out of this. And I thought it was pretty cool.
And the idea of him describing it as being heavy is interesting to me.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the only one either. I mean, when Paz got it from him, he struggled with it too. So yeah,
he seemed like he struggled with it even more. You notice that? Like he was really struggling with it. Yeah,
he was really, and he's a big dude too. You would think it would have been easier for him, but no. Yeah, I totally agree.
You know, that's John Favreau. I can never say his last name in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was doing the voice. He did the character too?
In this one, he's the character as well.
Oh, look at Alan with the big facts. Oh,
I researched for 5 minutes before the show.
Well, and then he also did the voice of Pre-Vizsla, who introduced the Dark Saber. The whole concept of the Dark Saber is kind of his brainchild to a certain extent. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. You know, and a lot of people are saying, you don't choose your crystal, the crystal chooses you.
Right.
Cal Kestis from the video game, he was one with his saber. And then I love Ed Five's comment. There can be only one. Like Thor's hammer. Yeah. There you go, Flex. That's a good to put that. Yeah. Kind of like that. Al, did it surprise you, or did you kind of see this coming that he was going to beat this big dude like this?
I saw, as it was going into it, I thought, is he going to pick this saber up? And it actually does choose him. And it's like, what a plot twist that would be, and it actually is going to go with him. But when I saw him struggle with it, so I was okay. It was a lot going on in this particular exchange. But no, I knew Mando was going to take him out. And I'm surprised that he didn't kill him. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that it was going to go down to that. Like, but,
Right. Josh, what did you think of how they did this fight scene and how it ended? What was going on?
No, I really liked it. I liked that both of them were struggling with the saber. That, that he thought the key would be to just get that from Din Djarin, and then he would be able to take him out no problem. And then he's just kind of bumbling with it as well. And I mean, it was an awesome scene. But I do understand why he wouldn't want to kill him. At this point, how many of them are left? You don't want to necessarily continue the genocide of his people. So,
right.
One of the things I noticed is the armor held it with no problem. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you, Al. If you look closely,
she struggled with it.
Yeah, when she started it, her body goes like this.
Yeah, that's true.
You can tell. She's like, "Whoa, this thing is damn." But
I think she was more prepared for it than the rest of them.
I see.
I think because she just knows how the weapon would work.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me get rid of the Russian bots here as usual. Everywhere. Okay, so it also shows the armor's leader, not other than yeah, no doubt. And Gary makes a good point. There was three whole when he first got there, he's like, okay, you can join us. Now there's three of us, so this is a hell of a way to decide who gets to save or somebody dies, you're down to but yeah, I got a kick out of the fight because we know both of these guys are badass fighters. I mean, let's just be honest about it. We haven't seen this Vizsla much, but we just know. And then the minute they pick up the sword, they become bumbling idiots. Like, how do you do this thing? Which was the most realistic interpretation of a lightsaber we've seen in Star Wars, I think. So overall, were you satisfied with the way they handled the lightsaber and the effects that it had on those guys, Josh?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I really, really liked it. And it added another layer to the storytelling that was intriguing and interesting. So yeah, I very much enjoyed it. Just like I've enjoyed everything else from The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Right, yeah. They've Al, from your perspective, great fight, great way they handled the lightsaber. Was that satisfying?
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I dug this. Yeah, I dug it a lot. And cool. Here's a quick question though, just side note. What was the name of the guy that had that saber originally from Mandalorian?
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon, right.
Moff Gideon, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say right there. Gideon wielded it better than any of the rest of them. So maybe the sword is evil. Is the sword just evil? I mean, could we have a saber?
It's passed between people on both sides, so it's kind of hard to tell.
That's a good point. Yeah, because he seemed to have been using it very well. So I was shocked when these two heavy dudes were like, with it. But it was an interesting. What's the word I'm looking for here? Variable to throw in with the dark saber. Like you can't just pick it up and go. So, but the problem is, go, Josh.
Well, I was going to say in Rebels, when Sabine has it, she struggles with it, and Ezra has to teach her kind of how to wield it. So I don't think it's completely new idea, but this is definitely much more fleshed out than it has been before.
That's great. Someone mentioned that in chat too. I haven't seen enough of the cartoons to be able to speak, and yeah, so I didn't know. That was good to know. So last picture, fight's over, and he gets to keep the saber. And at the end of these fights, just like we saw him fight in the first season of Mandalorian, Mama jumps up and makes him do the creed. Row. Josh, you're up, man. What? He paused. What did you think he was going to do?
I thought he was going to piss himself, to be honest with you. Like he was just like, Mama, no. But he, yeah, I thought it was a great scene, and I loved the way he hesitated on it, and how she knew she had him as soon as he hesitated. She knew, and the way that all played out, and how she explained he would need to redeem himself, and how there was just it was just so absolute. It's like, nope, you're out. Which definitely gives you an idea of her opinion on people like Bo-Katan and probably Boba Fett, and she probably has even less of an opinion of Boba than Bo-Katan and Casca did when they first met him, because they were immediately mean to him just because he was a clone. Well, the armorer is going to hate him because he's a clone and he takes his helmet off. So
really never puts it on.
The rules are very strict, and it's definitely making us wonder what really is the way, so to speak. And will they find some sort of middle ground that will allow their people to reunite in order to take back their homeworld? And are there any more of them left anywhere?
That's a good point. I'll be interested to see, because at this point, that rule about your helmet seems a little antiquated for where we're at in the world right now. So, Al, when she said, "Have you ever taken your helmet off?" What's going on in your headspace, bro? And what did you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a little. I mean, I get it. That is the way, but to me, it's just like, but does it have to be the way? Like, does this matter right now? Aren't there more important? But but I think it's cool because it to me, I'm just thinking, all right, cool. As soon as they had this back and forth, and he's realizing what he's going to have to do in order to redeem himself, I'm like, good. Now we have more reason for the next season of Mandalorian, so I'm into it.
Alan, I'm going to stick with you for a second. Then Josh, I'd like to get your opinion on this as well, because when I saw this, it seemed like a very, very vague opinion of dogmatic religious following. Do you think they were making a statement on that, Al?
Maybe. I don't know if they're going to go after religion necessarily. Maybe. I mean, like, it's definitely not the practical choice
right
in this moment. But I didn't have a thought on that necessarily. No.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Josh?
Yeah.
I don't know that it was necessarily a commentary on religion. I think it was more just showing the reality of any situation. Extremes one way or the other are not good. You need to find some middle ground. You need to compromise. And basically the way that both sides are approaching it are just going to ultimately lead to the eradication of their people. And I mean, it is good that Mandalorian's not necessarily a race of people. It's more like a creed, so they can always find more foundlings and expand their numbers. But that's going to take time that they don't really have right now. So they need all hands on deck, and eventually they're just going to have to look past their differences and find some way to compromise.
You know what? I'm going to re-edit what I said. I like the way you put that, Josh. Not religion, just any extremist view is going to eventually lead to a ruin. You got to
one way or the other. Yeah. I mean, you drink too much water, it can kill you. You don't have any water, it can kill you. You have to be somewhere in the middle. I mean, it's with any and everything.
Fair enough.
I do dig moderation, like how they at least follow the creed though. There's like they have this adherence to this code of ethics that they follow, whereas Boba just seems like he just does whatever the hell he wants to do. You know what I mean? He doesn't, to me, seem like is he not a Mandalorian though?
I think he said, well, Josh, he said, "I never said I was" in that one episode. What did you get out of that?
Well, I mean,
he just plays one on TV.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, technically he's a clone, so
of a Mandalorian.
Yeah, and he wasn't really fully raised by Mandalorians because Jango died when he was fairly young. So, and from what I understand, Jango isn't considered a Mandalorian by his people either for whatever reason. That's never been actually explained. It's just kind of briefly touched on in the Clone Wars. So perhaps he doesn't consider him Mandalorian because of whatever caused Jango to be excommunicated. I'm not sure.
I see.
Which is something that I was hoping that we would maybe get some insight to with all those flashbacks to Camino and everything. I was hoping to actually see Jango in a scene, but we'll see.
Oh, Tamora playing off Tamora. That would be interesting for sure, because they could do a little de-aging on one of them. Yeah. That'll be interesting to see. There's so many different things and so many different ways they can go here. I think they just have 1,000 different things they could do to entertain us. So, all right. So she's like, "You're out of here, apostate." And I thought it was kind of cool that the only way he could come back is if he went to some water underneath the surface of a Mandalore. Josh, let's head over to you on this one. Predictions. We're obviously going to Mandalore. Is that a setup for one of the reasons why he needs to get there, do you think?
Yeah, I totally think so. Yeah, I think it's all roads lead to Mandalore. I don't know if that's going to be just the culmination of Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian. Again, like I said, I feel like the Mandalorian is more about the people as a whole, not just the one character. Or if this is going to ultimately be what the entire story with Ahsoka and everything else is building towards. So I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah.
Al, I know you don't have a lot of knowledge on this stuff, but did you get an impression? Because it seemed pretty deliberate for them to put that line in there for her to say, are we going there? Is she going to do that? Is that going to be part of
I think
these
so.
two shows?
Yeah. I think that, like I said, I think that's setting it up for what we're going to see in the future, these upcoming episodes. So I was glad to hear it. What do I got to do? You got to do this, and he's going to do it. It's going to be fun to watch. Yeah.
Perhaps when he gets there, that he's going to discover that's where something super fishy is going on. Maybe that's where they're making Snoke or something. I don't know. Or cloning Palpatine or whatever. I mean, that didn't necessarily have to have happened on Exegol. We just assumed that it did. Or some, maybe that's where they're building the First Order. That they did reference the character that Ahsoka fought with the Beskar spear. Her family built ships for the Empire. So perhaps they've moved that operation to Mandalore since it's considered dead and barren, and they figure it wouldn't be a place where people would, it would draw any attention. And maybe when Mando goes there to redeem himself, he discovers this, and that's part of what draws everyone into the battle. Maybe even Thrawn's there. Who knows?
Or
Ezra.
Yeah.
Or both.
Man, just this one episode, we're all our fires are lit again, man. We're all interested in stuff.
But we're not interested in Boba Fett. That's the problem.
No, boom, right? Yeah. Oh my God. Jeff, you got a fan on that. If they bring Palpatine into this, he's gonna flip his stuff, man. It's your boy, Jeff, man. So he's out of there. He takes off, and the whole mood of the show changes all of a sudden, and we get a little humor here. Alan, I'd like to go to you. You've been watching Book of Boba Fett, and how much do you know about Disney's Galaxy Quest theme park they got going on? Anything?
Just when people post pictures on social media that they're there. That's about it. Yeah,
you too, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you recognize this little guy?
No. Okay,
cool. Well, then, from a outsider perspective,
he held the controller on Nintendo back in the 80s, right? You remember that?
Yeah,
I remember him.
Yeah.
And play Gyromite.
That's right. To play Gyromite, you needed a player too.
Oh boy, check it out. You got another fan there, Alan. You and Josh can talk video games. That'll be great. So we get a little humor in this, Alan. Did you like the way they did this, or did it pull you out of the moment of what we were watching?
This was, to me, like it's always funny to me. I like seeing the characters engage with the droids, because the droids are so matter of fact, and the dryness of their delivery. I love it. And so this was great. This type of humor I could get into, as long as it's not too drawn out, And it is funny, like seeing him go through the same type of stuff we have to go through when we travel at the airport. What I mean?
Right.
So, yeah. Gotta go through security.
I call this the TSA droid. The TSA droid for sure, man. Josh, you know what? They hit us You know, I'm going to spoiler alert. All of the humor in this episode I thought was appropriate. But what did you think of his interaction with this droid from TSA?
No, I thought it was great. I mean, yes, it's a nod to Star Tours, and I thought that was really Pete's got it. And it was really cool, and I like that we saw another one when he arrived that was kind of glitchy. So it shows that they're just kind of everywhere. I mean, they're transport droids. They're the ones that you have to deal with. I thought it was great. I do think that the scene, because of course, you would immediately assume that something's going to be missing when he opens it up. Yeah. And of course, they kind of surprised us a little bit, subverted the expectations. But I do feel that they wouldn't have spent that much time on that scene had it maybe not been something alluding to what may happen later. Because, well, I mean, it may not, since he's not necessarily having to do public transport anymore. So I don't know. I am curious if it may come back up somewhere in the storytelling. And if it was just for the joke of it, I mean, it was still entertaining. And again, it was that organic humor that we're wanting to see in Star Wars.
It didn't feel forced.
Yeah, the droid didn't burp.
Really,
you know what I mean?
Awesome.
It wasn't like burp humor, and
Yeah.
I did not know that. The TSA apparently actually referenced this scene today in their IG accounts. So
wow,
that's cool. That is really cool. Like they even have the TSA on whatever ring this is that we're at. But yeah, I got a kick out of this one. And side note, I didn't grab the picture. The little bitty gun that he puts, his holdout gun. That's a real gun from World War II once again. So not his regular side pistol, but I got a kick out of that. Yeah. So and him dumping all of his robe and everything, and he's looking at people going by like, am I gonna miss this plane? It was awesome. Oh my God, I got a kick out of that. So
yeah, there was no line when he finally got done with it, but there was a line when he first started.
Right. Josh, I want to stick with you on this one. We talked about before we got on Pedro Pascal being the master of what we call helmet acting now. But we got this great scene. First of all, everything from he's on registered transport to what's going on here. Tell me what you thought, what's going on here, and give me some insight.
Well, I mean, he's on public transport, and it's just like anyone that's on a plane. There's inevitably going to be a kid somewhere nearby that's, staring at you awkwardly or wanting you to entertain them because they're bored, or screaming or who knows what. But no, I thought this was a very endearing moment. And it comes back around later once he's got his ship. And obviously it's going to remind him of Grogu. And it is another moment where he does this amazing performance through the helmet. And that's some of what I love the most about Star Wars is having these characters like Boba Fett and Darth Vader and Din Djarin that wear a mask that you can't see them emoting, yet there's so much in the performance. There's so much emotion coming through that mask. And that, to me, that's just brilliant storytelling. It's a little disappointing that Boba takes his helmet off so much. I wonder if that was something that was in the contract. He just wanted more face time or what. But I kind of like seeing the performance through the helmet. It adds to the mystique of the characters.
Yeah. Alan, as a relative newcomer, what did you get out of this scene? What did you think?
Yeah, same thing. Like, as I was watching this scene, I was just thinking like, damn, he's a good actor, and that's what's missing. As a consumer of this entertainment product, I want to be entertained, and you get entertained by good acting, so, right. And it can't be easy. And it also just the fact that he's looking at this kid and it's reminding him of Grogu. It's kind of sweet. He's like, man, I miss that kid, so and he's engaging with this kid, but it was awesome. Really cool. Seeing him put together this performance.
You mentioned something earlier, Alan, that I thought this was an appropriate place to just kind of reiterate it again. All three of us are fathers. All three of us, how did this one hit you, man, Al?
Oh, right in the old tear ducts. It'll get you, man. Could you imagine missing your kid? And like whenever if Maddie's not with me and I'm doing something and I see a little kid, I'm like, oh man, I miss my daughter. Like can't wait to see her again. That type of thing. So it's that, and it brings you in and makes you relate to the character more. So very cool.
Some of that metadata that really makes the episode and the show in general enjoyable. Josh, would you agree with that?
Oh yeah. And I was stuck on the whole missing your kid relationship from when he was getting the armor to make the whatever the gift is for Grogu. I mean, he outright said, I miss him. And I thought that was excellent. And I love the conversation that they have about the differences between the Jedi way versus the Mandalorian way. The Jedi focus very much on cutting all ties and having, no sort of relationships or anything like that. Whereas the Mandalorian, they embrace that. It's all about family and the clan. And I really thought that was cool, kind of getting that insight and that comparison to the two.
Nice. I loved that substrata on this, and it was just made it that much more worthwhile to me. Gary's got a question. We don't see his rifle at all anymore that I recall. Did it blow up in the Razor Crest, Josh?
I don't know that we do see it again after that point. So maybe it did, because it definitely was gone in this one. I noticed the same thing when he was unloading everything. I was like, I wonder where his rifle is. I guess it probably was destroyed in the Razor Crest.
Oh, yeah. You know what? David C. says the Disruptor rifle was destroyed on Tython. Okay. Al, did you catch that? Where was his rifle destroyed? On what planet?
We told you there was going to be a test. Come on now.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know.
When the armor, Tina says, when the armor asked him why he wanted to see Grogu, and the way he answered that he just wanted to make sure he was okay. Right? That's some father stuff right there.
Oh,
man. I was like, right here. I'm like,
well, I mean, when he said goodbye to Grogu, that whole scene was very much meant to mirror the Vader saying his final goodbye to Luke scene, wanting the mask off. And I mean, that when he reaches up to the mask and he takes it off, and very emotional moment. It even added more to what we were already feeling with Luke and all that. So it was
one of those "I'm not crying, you're crying" moments,
right?
You're crying.
But I mean, that's the thing, is the character's genuine, and we're not getting any new characters in Book of Boba that are really just grabbing us. I mean, we don't necessarily have to have a little kid running around. We don't have to have a Grogu or an Omega. But we do need something that's going to hook us, some sort of character or some aspect to the story that has just got us on the edge of our seat for the next episode. And this didn't get me excited for the next episode. It made me concerned that it's going to go back to Boba Fett. And it's the show's called The Book of Boba Fett. Whether I like Boba Fett or not, I do respect that other people do. And I do think the character's cool. I mean, hell, I've got 7 Black Series Boba Fett's alone, so obviously I get a Boba Fett or two. Just because he's not my favorite doesn't mean I hate the character, and I do think he deserves a little more respect than that, especially for his own series. Even if the book is short, it should still be a good book.
Good book. Damn. Milky Way, first of all, it's good to see you. It's cool he wants vintage stuff like an old Razor Crest. Maybe he'll get a new rifle. Yeah, that's a good point. He's kind of like, kind of like some of the Andy at the Hollow Chronicles and some of those guys that collect the older stuff. Josh, we're going to stick with you on this one because this was a moment of fan service throwback to the prequels. So he shows up on Tatooine because, as Bailey likes to point out, the entire Star Wars universe centers on Tatooine.
Apparently.
Right? Because he's trying to get a new ship from good old Peli Motto. And we get this. Were you happy about this, or were you like, oh, come on, man?
I loved it. I've been waiting for a moment where the Disney Star Wars era really embraced the prequels. And, getting to see this starfighter and kind of having that reminder of how cool they actually kind of are. It was fun. I mean, obviously, Peli apparently runs the garage for misfit droids. She's got so many different droids. I mean, there's R5's there. She's got the pit droids, and then we had the little appearance from BD, which we're not sure is that Cal Kestis's BD or is it just another BD droid. But she's definitely got a lot of familiar faces.
Did you catch the other one though? She even calls him by name.
No.
Wed Treadwell is there too. He's the one with the tall pole and the two glass eyes. That was on Luke's farmstead as well.
Yeah.
So
how did she end up with all these?
I think she stole them all from the farmstead. I'm not gonna lie.
She sent her Jawa friends or her Jawa boyfriend.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, she got them from the Jawas who stole them. Right there we go. So Alan, When
Yeah.
you saw this, did you understand what you were looking at? And if
No.
so, or if not, how? Okay, yeah. What did you think? Like, oh, ship.
So for me, because I didn't understand any of what was happening there, other than the fact that BD, that droid, I know that character from Jedi Fallen Order because I played that game.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's the same one or anything, or if it's just like one of those that's like a series of them. But anyways, this was it I don't know. Like this went on for too long for me because it just carried on, and I think this is where the bulk of the episode was spent, was in this like garage, with all this back and forth. And I'm not a big fan of I don't remember her name, but that character with all the droids.
Pelimato.
Pelimato is just not my cup of tea, man.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted it out of there. But I was happy because I'm like, all right, they're gonna fix the damn ship. You know what I mean? The camera,
right.
No one's moved the camera yet, so we're fixing the ship, and we're gonna get back into space and get him mobile again without having to go through TSA. So I was excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I just want to jump through these really fast. What's with the dating a Jawa?
Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird. Linda, I think you'll get another Razor Crest at the end one we'll dock to. I've seen a lot of that. Finally, some love for episode 1, JT. We put that one up. Tina, the Jawas are stealing parts. I love it. Naboo, home to Sheev Palpatine. Yeah. And yeah, dating a Jawa, super cringe.
That was weird.
David says there's many Treadwell droids. I don't care. That's the one from Luke's farm center. I've decided, David. Okay.
Well, it was definitely an interesting way for us to find out that they're furry. So
yeah.
Right? Yeah. Look at comments. Furry, hairy. Her Jawa hookup got all this stuff. It's like calling an R2 unit an R2 unit. Yeah, you're probably right, David, but I'm dogmatic and stubborn, so I've decided it's the one. Growler Jaws, yeah. Oh my God, who wants to date a Jawa? When she was speaking Jawanese. Oh my God. So Josh Allen mentioned it. He's not a big Amy Sedaris, or at least this character fan. What did you think of her performance?
I mean, she's the wacky, cantankerous, mechanic character, and she kind of reminds me sort of Dex from episode 2, Obi-Wan's friend that had the diner. She's just sort of a quirky Star Wars character, and she's also a callback to Ripley from Aliens as far as her whole look with the jumpsuit and the curly hair. So it's, to me, she's fun. I will admit, when she was a little grating on my nerves the first episode that she was in, but I warmed up to her pretty quickly. I get the purpose of her character, and she has come in clutch a few times, so I'm okay with it.
Cool.
She's Mando's guy. She's the one that he goes to get the stuff he needs. That's kind of off the grid, sort of out of the ordinary. So, yeah. And I like that she hooked him up with a piece of junk.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So everybody kind of said it in the comments, and they went through. So we don't need to talk about that. But
you got to have a montage.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's what this is. Her talking, speaking Javanese was hilarious. For me, I actually loved Amy Sedaris in this. Once again, it didn't feel shoehorned in. That's just her character. That's how she acts, and so consequently, she was funny. Let's see here. She's fine. The writing at some points is cringe, but she's doing a good job. Yeah. We're seeing that a lot. Alan, is that kind of what you're feeling, or is her character you're just not feeling her?
For me, it's just like, I don't need this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it. that's just me.
Yeah, that's cool. Me. It's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, when she goes like this with her mouth, and she's like, I dated a Jawa with her hairy. I was like, I didn't need to see that. None of my business. You know what I'm saying? So, it was like when he cut that guy in half. I'm like, this is Disney? Oh, okay, cool.
See, I was cool with that part.
Yeah, of course.
Her having Jawa in her mouth, that's a whole story, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't need to see that. That's none of my business. Oh, but Josh, you said it, I pulled it down. But now it's time for an 80s ship repairing montage.
Mm-hmm. Gotta have a montage, man. This whole show has been so montage heavy. Like just about every episode's had a montage at some point. But I didn't mind the montage. It was kind of fun. I do think it's hilarious that not only is she making him pay for it, probably more than he should, but also making him do half the work as well. Right. So I can respect that, from a business standpoint. I thought it was cool, and I loved kind of seeing them piece it together, and it really illustrated how these are sort of a callback to the World War II era planes and early concept art for like jet planes and things like that, and concept designs. I love the way the engines looked and seeing them kind of piece the panels onto it slowly, and I thought it looked really, really sweet, all chromed out like that. I liked that they took off most of the yellow, but then left a few little accents on it to kind of throw back to the Razor Crest a little bit. I liked it. I think it's kind of mean looking.
Yeah, it's so cool looking. Yeah.
Al, montage. You were old enough to remember movies from the 80s.
Oh, for
cool,
sure. Yeah.
Cooler.
Oh, it was cool. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I liked it. I mean, the ship came out so cool looking. I mean, the ship I love. That's amazing. Love it.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And it's fast too.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get to that. Yeah. But I have a quick question for you guys. Did you notice that when Mando first started out, he would shoot at droids if they got near his ship? You see what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
Now look at him. Character growth and development. Did you catch that, Josh?
Yeah, and he had the BD was helping him with the light and everything, and he was still getting a little frustrated, but for the most part, he was much more cooperative than he would have been before. He's definitely developed in that respect. But I mean, you can understand why he doesn't like him. They killed his family.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's a lot of people that have issues with droids. That's why the bartender on Mos Eisley wouldn't let droids into his bar, was because his family was killed by battle droids. So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. The little droid working with Din reminded him of working with Grogu. Put the red wire where the blue wire goes. That was hilarious. Al, did you catch that he is a little bit cooler with the droids now? Or did you
I didn't catch that, but I did. I did think it was interesting that he was so polite with them, because I remember watching him at one point say like he's like thank you, like a frustrated thank you. But I thought that was kind of interesting. It's like it was funny. It's like you're out there trying to work on the car with dad, and you're a little bit afraid and a little bit interested.
Yeah, we don't want to go down that road on this show, Alan.
Talk about digging up memories.
Oh my God, yeah.
Do you remember when?
I'm definitely gonna cry tonight.
Yeah, God, I'm gonna need to drink after this show, Al. Don't bring up Dad, for God's sakes. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I get a kick at Shabby. Outer Rim Customs for sure. Gary, did you notice the naked Jawa calendar on the wall of the garage? She's dating Jawas. I didn't see that. I think that's got to be a joke. How much is Dad going to? How much does Dad get giving you for not holding the flashlight right? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Well, when Alan and I woke up from being unconscious, we would find out. So anyway,
not
going down that road. Not going down that road. Yeah, we're not going there. I'm fine. I don't have PTSD or anything. It's cool. Josh, tell me how badass this was.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, you just felt the adrenaline. It's very Top Gun moment for him, and as well as his kind of ride down memory lane through the pod race track, and going into Beggar's Canyon and seeing him just kind of whip that thing around like that. Yeah, it was cool. It was a fun moment. It was exciting. It was exhilarating Star Wars moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this was badass. I love this.
Yeah.
Did you recognize the scenery here, Al?
Yeah, I wasn't really into those that series of Star Wars films that came out, but I recognized the race stuff with Anakin from back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tina makes a point that I got a kick out of. If you ever watch like real fighter pilots and they put cameras in with them, this is always the angle because you can't put it on the. This was just absolutely, excuse my language, badass. I loved this so much. I was getting, when he's like jamming that thing. But anyway,
that was cool. Yeah.
Josh mentioned that he goes through Beggar's Canyon in the Boonta Eve Classic. I'm going to ask Al, Josh, and be honest, Al. Mm-hmm. You saw the movie. Did you catch what's going on here?
No.
Josh, tell me you saw it.
Oh yeah, the broken gate that Anakin broke like decades earlier,
like 40 years ago.
Maintenance is not a high priority on Tatooine, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, honestly, what was that fence really keeping anyone from getting at to begin with? Come on now, it looks like the cliff just drops off anyway, so it's fine.
I think that's where they did a really good job too, because for me, I was watching him whip through the canyons, focusing on that, but they've kind of covered all bases. So for the people that are like, they know that history there, you've got a little something for you. And then I'm over here just watching him like around the corner, sitting around. It's just awesome, Love it.
I love the different perspectives because I got a kick out of the flying. Don't get me wrong, and I've watched this 3 times. But when I saw him go by that gate, Josh, I was like, "Oh, look!" You know, like, like that meme.
Oh, yeah.
It's the gate. It's the gate.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that. That's the gate. That was.
But these were good Easter eggs. Like I've complained about the excess Easter eggs in other episodes, but these are Easter eggs that are there because they would be there, and it's fun, and it kind of gets you a little further into that world. You feel more immersed in it. It's like, oh, I recognize this place, but when it becomes something that the story, or at least the entertainment factor of the story is dependent on, then it's just excess, and it's silly fan service, and it's not actually serving the purpose of the story. And this I felt was there for a reason, and it was a nice callback, and it's obvious that they wanted to show a little love to episode 1, and I thought that was Wizard. So there you go.
I see a wizard. Nice, very nice. Alan, you look like you're about to say something, or you just smiling because you're happy.
I was just saying, every time I see these scenes of this area where the what are they called? The racers, pod racers? Is that what they're called?
Pod racers.
Pod racing scenes. It reminds me of that era where they were on all the Pepsi cups from like Taco Bell, and you would see them everywhere, all over the streets.
Everything. Yeah,
it's like it just obscure characters like Watto on the side of a Pepsi cup. And I don't know if I'm saying the right things.
Top of a Pizza Hut box or something. Yeah,
dude, they're on everything.
I may or may not have a few of those in my garage.
You might have some in the corner.
Yeah, that's awesome. Before we move on, I want to point somebody out. This is Matt Blaisdell. Love seeing that Bo-Katan back there, Paul. Great stream. You got to subscribe. First of all, thank you, Matt. Second from the top on the Mandalorian shelf, Matt, we're going to do a little plug here, a little commercial. Empire Essentials. Etsy shop. His shop made that, and it's I did a video review on my channel, and it's a great helmet. Yeah, but it's good to see you. Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for joining us, Matt. I really appreciate it. A bunch of people are pointing out that now that he doesn't have, he's going to need a droid. As you did there, crazy. She hollowed out the astromech droid. So, what does he do for hyperspace calculations in a small ship that small, Josh? Or do we care?
He just guesses.
It ain't like Dustin Crops, boy.
No, I was
like,
assuming that he has some sort of supplementary guidance system that's been put in there. If they can fit that much information in astromech droid, I'm sure they could. Since they've hollowed out so much else in the ship, I would imagine they could find room for it. They've got that whole cool little engine on top, so
That's Grogu's new seat.
Yeah, you got to have the Grogu seat. That's exactly
see everybody,
what it's there for.
Space for Grogu. There's for everybody.
See his little head popping up in that bubble. Yeah, no, it's perfect. Total.
We're gonna see it. Al, what does he do for hyperspace calculations if he doesn't have the astromech droid in the toggle?
He just guesses.
That's cheating. You just said what Josh said.
That's the best answer.
That's the best answer.
I looked over at Josh. Thank you.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to find a way to incorporate you into all of the streams here. This is great. You're so stupid. Oh, Cuba, yeah, absolutely. He's just using sat nav. Come on, man. I don't know why you guys are so stupid
standard
about this. Yeah, it just comes on all of them.
Pops it in the GPS, and he's good to go.
Edmo makes a point. There's no room for bounties, but I think he's just taking heads now. If you guys saw the beginning of this episode, so. Yeah, there you go. Or headspace for bringing him in cold. No room for carbonite blocks.
True,
yeah. He's got a Thomas guide. There we go. Sorry, Casey. That's how he knows where to go. Josh, let's go back to you. Come on, man. What did you think? What's going on?
Oh, this was a fun scene. I mean, we've seen it before in The Mandalorian. The cops like to mess with Mando, so
damn cops.
And I thought it was. I know, man. I thought it was great the way they pulled up there, and I liked that we got to see a familiar face and a new but not new face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna get there in just a second for sure.
Yeah. But no, I thought it was cool. And of course the X-wings always look great on screen.
Right. Just when you hear that sound with them pulling up, you're like, oh, I'm 7 years old again in the theater. It's so cool. Al, I know you weren't born until Return of the Jedi. What did you think of this scene, man? Did it give you goosebumps, or are you just like, oh, that's cool?
No, this was awesome. Also, I was like, thank God we're back in, like space in a ship, zipping around. We're doing stuff, we're getting bothered by these guys. I like this,
Damn cops.
First thing I thought of was that, though. I was like, I wonder what Paul thinks of this. Because, like,
They need like a little light on top of it.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I love the way they played it, and so we're going to talk about that in a second. But I got a kick out of this. We talked about it prior to going live, but Josh, who is this, and what's the significance of this guy? Because you're making face references.
Yeah, he's the actor that was the body double for Luke in that final episode of last season of Mandalorian, which is super cool that he actually got to have some FaceTime for himself. On the show.
FaceTime.
Yeah,
That's what you did
like
there.
Yeah. But no, I thought that was really awesome.
Alan, Josh has our sense of humor. It's all dad jokes.
We're a bunch of dads over here.
Yeah,
that's a good point. You know what? And we got the king of dad jokes, Scuba Pete's in the house. Hey, Siri, jump to Mustafar. Siri, jumping to Cantina Bar.
You're like, no, Siri, no.
Siri. Cancel.
Cancel that. Oh.
Why are you so dumb, Siri? Oh,
yeah, right. There you go. See, yeah, he'll end flying through a supernova, bouncing too close to the singularity. Oh my God, Al. I don't imagine you knew that that's who this actor was, or even cared. But
I knew.
Oh, you knew. Okay, I'm sorry.
He could tell by the face.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Duh.
Yeah.
I get some FaceTime, right, Al?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I found it nostalgic. I love seeing the orange, the eyeball guards or whatever you call them, goggles.
Well, I think they're called visors, but whatever. I don't know.
There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Chips in space. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So Alan, this one's for you then. I know you know who this guy is. Tell me what you got a kick out of seeing him or not again.
I did not know who he was, but I don't know who he is now.
Well, you watched The Mandalorian, right?
Yeah, but you know what? I watch it.
You're
it's not going in forever.
Oh,
yeah, no.
Okay. All right.
It's in one eye, out the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. We can fix this really quick. There we go. All right.
Understandable.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Oh God. Al, yeah. That's the only way to get Josh to shut up sometimes. He goes off on a tee. Josh, I got to be honest with you. I follow him on YouTube. He was on the Holo Chronicles. I was so jealous those guys got him on their show.
Such an awesome interview. Yeah, he's such a cool guy. Like he just sat there and hung out and just talked to everyone. Like it was really, really great.
He's just a down to earth dude. Paul Sun-Young Lee is his name now. He was on something called Kim's Convenience, which I'd never heard of until I saw him in this show. Were you happy to see him, Josh?
Oh, absolutely. No, I got super excited when I saw it. I was like, oh, and I bet he knew this the whole time he was talking to us and he wasn't going to let it out.
Right? That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, he's like, I'm showing up again.
He's like, you just wait, guys. No, it's great. And I'm super excited to see him in the Netflix Avatar series playing Uncle Iroh. And I'm just super happy for all of his success. And I was excited for it. It sort of tickled me a little bit. Mm-hmm. I felt a little bit of a connection to Star Wars through that. So I got to thank Andy and Josh over at Holo Chronicles for that one.
You got to just disengage Milky Way. So these patrol X-Wings have no idea the Pikes are invading. I know. Just
they just look the other way. They're all being paid off by the Pikes.
Makes me love his appearance on Holo Chronicles. Yeah. What did Case say? I missed that. Oh, anyway. So two things here, you guys, I wanted to point out. First of all, if they do this helmet, but especially if they do Paul's helmet, I don't collect X-Wing helmets, but I'm getting that one if they do it a Black Series because it's him. And then Gary, the way they played this was so perfect. The young guy's like, should we go back and report that this guy ran away from us? And he's like, do you want to go back and do paperwork? It was, Alan, you asked, what did I think of this? This is exactly what cops, they sit there and be like, is this important enough for us to sit back? No, just let that move. Yeah, it was perfect. They did such a good job on that one, man.
There's one. Set for stun.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, you know what? It's cool. Yeah. Check it out. G-Force is like, I talked to this guy, right? He's so down to earth. It's
so
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. If you watch his YouTube channel, he does unboxings of hot toys and stuff like that. It's so
that's
hilarious.
really cool.
He's a total collector. And it was great. He's sitting on there ranting like shabby about Hasbro and stuff not being on the pegs. And it was awesome. I loved every second of it.
He's one of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Google gobble.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Alan. Mm-hmm. Apparently, right at the end, this is the Book of Boba Fett. Who knew?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know what you're going to say, but what's going on here? What did you think of them going? Oh, by the way, Fennec Shand. Al?
You know, I have a tough time with a lot of this kind of, because I've seen the character. What's her name? Something Wen.
Oh, Ming-Na Wen.
Ming-Na Wen.
the actress.
Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah.
I've seen her in so many things that I haven't liked in the past that it's for me tough for me to dig her in this. Like when I saw her show up, I know so many, I think the character of Finnick is kind of cool because I like looked that up a bit, but the actor, I'm not a big fan. Like, man, it's like this daytime television karate. I'm just not into it, man. There's so many better choices in my opinion. That's just the way it is for me. But you know, it's the way she came in off like a perfectly stacked set of stair boxes. It's just, it's like, am I at a play, like a high school play? Like, what the hell am I looking at? So it reminded me of like, oh yeah, that's right. I got to hang out with my cool cousin Mando, who leaves the planet, and Boba's coming back, and I got to go sit in Boba's house, and you know, here it comes. Back on Tatooine. So I was just like, oh, that it was very much a reminder of what I was dealing with. It's like, oh shit, that's right. It's about to
it was definitely a reality check for sure.
Yeah. As soon as I saw her like stumble off these boxes, I'm like, oh, that's right.
This is the book of Josh. Is Alan off base here? Or
no, it's exactly how I felt about it. I mean, I love your comparison to like the high school play, like the way she was just sort of perched up there, like, "What are you doing, kid?" You know, it just seemed very silly and a little forced. But I mean, yeah, it definitely reminded me of what I'm going to see next week, and that I might not like it. And that's it's just so disappointing. Like, why is the production on this one episode so vastly better than it has been for the 4 episodes prior? Like, it just, I don't get it, and I think it's disrespectful to Boba Fett. I feel bad. I feel bad for his character. I feel bad for Tamara Morrison. I mean, like, this was a big opportunity for them, I'm sure, and the show's not getting the love that I wish that it had, including from myself, and I don't like that. I wish it was all like The Mandalorian's been. I mean, the very first shot of that episode, I was like, yep, this is more what I'm expecting to have been getting this whole time. And yeah, I do think that the director has a lot to do with that, but I am curious to see, you know, who was the cinematographer on all the episodes, and you know, who handled the lighting and things like that. What, you know, was the crew different? And if so, like, what were the different elements and what made the difference? But yeah, the biggest issue for me has been lighting throughout the entire series. It just looks fake, like it's filmed in someone's backyard or something like that with a home video camera. It's not, it doesn't look cinematic in quality. And I think that having kind of the dimmer images sort of helps add to that effect.
Yeah. Need a better gaffer.
Yeah.
Need a better gaffer. The film terminology.
Film terminology, go. Yeah.
Now, that's the thing about it, is I really want to like the Book of Boba Fett. I do too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not excited about seeing it, and you know, every just with her popping back in, and I shouldn't feel that way. I should feel like, oh shit, this is gonna be cool. It's gonna be Mando meets that world, and again, but it's not. It's just like, oh yeah, we got to go back to Boba Fett again. You know, so.
Yeah, I'm way more interested in him going to meet Grogu than I am in anything going on in Boba Fett at this point.
So GeForce obviously is a big Ming-Na Wen fan, and he threw this up, Al, and I don't think any of the three of us in this would, for especially a 60-year-old woman, she is not attractive. She's easy to look at. But you were talking about, go Al.
Oh, just for me, like the way, like you know, her physical appearance, how beautiful she is or isn't, doesn't factor in at all. Like I don't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I'm a dude, and she sucks.
She was the voice of Mulan. Come on.
Beautiful woman, and you know, happy for her and doing her thing. But
it's all good, G. It's all good, man. Oh my God. Hey,
there's just other people I can picture.
It's okay, buddy. I got you.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Steve-O.
Hey, Steve-O.
Steve-O. So I love the way you put Alan. Right. Yeah, she's good looking. She sucks. I don't know what to tell you. I just don't like her.
Sucks.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And I think that's fair. Go, Al.
There was a woman and I don't remember her name, that played years ago in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Like, I can't remember her name, but for the life of me. But she would have been great. There's just so many other people that we could have. But then again, this is me over here. I don't know what's going on. I wanted Boba Fett to be played by Jason Statham, whatever the hell his name is. That would have been somebody who could have came in and started throwing people over tables and chopping people in half. Something cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just pitching it here. If you guys are watching,
yeah, just in case Favreau's still writing the show right now.
Yeah, if you're still writing, I'm free. I'm available. I can do this.
Oh my God! Call me. All right. So yeah, part machine, part woman. She's the Terminator for sure, Gary. This
Terminatrix.
Terminatrix. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. You guys, Alan. Josh, this has been a blast this episode so far. I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, check it out. Oh, Wizzy Wiz agrees with you, Al, even though I think you're a little weird with the Jason Statham weight, but I get what you're going for.
No,
right. You see what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, totally get it. But with that, you know what? You guys don't do my little commercial here. You guys in the chat, you guys watching us on the rewind, I have had a blast with Al and Josh. Al, I love you. You're no Bailey, but you're a reasonable replacement.
No substitute. Sure, I'm good looking, but I'm no Bailey.
Yeah,
sure, I'm beautiful, but I suck.
But you have the right last name, so you had a shoe in.
Right.
So yeah. But anyway, this has been the Book of Boba Fett or Noba Fett or whatever Mandalorian we watched this time. We're here every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, breaking down the latest episode of the Boba Fett. And we'll continue to do this until the show wears us out or someone cuts off my electricity. But if you've been in the comments since the beginning, you just joined us, or you're watching us on the rewind, I can confidently speak on behalf of Alan and Josh and tell you thank you so much. It has been great to have you guys here and keep the conversation going. It's been awesome. But we're going to do the number thing now. So here's what I want you two to do. And if you're in the chat right now, I'd love for you to play along if you're interested. Josh, as an episode of Book of Boba Fett, 0 to 10, this episode only.
We'll see. And I really don't want to give it a low score because it was such an excellent episode. But as part of the story of the Book of Boba Fett, it's like maybe a 2 or a 3 at best. Like I'll give it a 3. As far as being part of that story, I felt like it did very little to progress that. This was definitely a Mando side quest.
Mando side quest, yeah.
Okay, well, that's a good segue then, Josh. And Alan, I'm going to ask you these same two questions. As an episode of The Mandalorian, regardless of what season, where you add 0 to 10?
Trying to compare it to the... Oh, sorry. I thought you were next to me. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Josh's first Al.
Sorry.
Dang.
God.
You can't come back. You can't take me anywhere.
I know.
I mean, it's no Return of Luke Skywalker. It's no Ahsoka episode. So I don't know that I can give it, a 10, but I mean, I'll give it a solid 9. No, I would say 9.5. Honestly. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So Al, now it's your turn. Okay.
I was confused. You confused?
Yeah, that's hard to do. Yeah, hard to do. Yeah.
It's his age. No.
Yeah. Wait, whose age? Mine or his?
Yours.
Yeah. Speaking of which, talking about splitting hairs, Jeff. She's 60. She's not 60. She's 58. Where I come from, that's 60. Good enough. Al. God. Anyway, love you, Jeff. Al, as an episode of the Book
where
of
Paul
Boba
comes from,
Fett,
that's age appropriate. Got him.
Got him. Yeah. Got him. Yeah. Oh God, you're never coming back, Al. Never. So 1 to 10, Al. Book of Boba Fett episode. Where you at?
Well, look, I'm gonna do it a little differently because technically it's a Book of Boba Fett episode. Okay, right. So I'm just gonna go off of that, but it had nothing to do with the Book of Boba Fett, I guess. But ultimately, I'm gonna give it. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Just 8 overall for both. Just 8.
8.
Okay, that's fair. So, Josh, you're at a 9.5 for a Mando episode, and Alan, you're just going to stick it in 8. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's go over here. 8 across the board. Cool. Let's go over here and see where everybody else is. Linda, 9.5. No, I am bad. Yeah, I am Boba Fett. Yeah. You know, I saw something earlier today. It was a meme. It was like, tells Fennec Shand, in people knowing you're dead is an asset. And then he runs around telling everybody, I'm Boba Fett. I'm Boba Fett. Come on, man. Anyway, Sorry. Solid 9.5, both Mando and Boba Fett. Nice, Ed. Okay, fair enough. David, 9.5. Yeah, I tell you what, it is nice to see some of these higher scores because, man, it
was a great episode.
Yeah,
it was just so well done.
Yeah.
I just wish that.
More.
Yeah.
I need more. Yeah. I know where you're going. I just wish that. I know where you're going with that, Josh. 9 out of 10 for Edmo. Nice. Yeah, check it out. Muzza. Oh, we're still going okay. 9 out of 10. All right, cool. Yeah, here we go. Shabby knows how to play the game with me. Thanks, man. 3 for Book of Boba Fett, because I'm at like a 1 for Book of Boba Fett. Phoenix showed up. A 9.5 out of 10 for a Mando episode, though. Yeah, so right in there with everybody. GeForce 9. You notice with Bailey not here, nobody's doing 9.375 or something.
What's the fun in it then?
I know, right? Yeah, I don't care if you use it.
Yeah, we're just trying to piss her off.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, Gary, who cares? 9.5 on the Richter scale. Bloody awesome. I agree, man. The flight scenes alone, I was sold, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. To me, the Book of Boba Fett is just another chapter of the Mandalorian. The credits are this. Yeah, that's an interesting go. Peter over in New Zealand. Sorry, I'm going to be really biased here, but I'm a New Zealander. Tamora is great because Tamora's New Zealander. Maori. It's 9 for Book of Boba Fett. 9. I don't think that's biased at all, man. I think that's fair. Okay.
And he is great. I mean, and I love that he's been able to bring a lot of his culture into the characters, adventures, I think he's awesome. And like I was saying, this was his big opportunity to really have some good screen time in Star Wars, and instead of just being a voice coming out of a clone uniform. I wish they'd given him a little bit more of his due and given the character a little bit better budget and a little bit more thought out story.
Well, I'm with you. They're definitely setting us up for a second season of Book of Boba Fett. Yeah. We're doing too much for as we have left. Yeah. So, Wizzy Wiz. All right, there we go. 9.8 2.
JT, always got to be one.
Yeah, as always. Yeah, got it. I love it, Wizzy. Thank you, brother. JT for Book of Boba Fett. I've never done this, but 0 as Mandalorian 8. Very, very fair. Very fair. Gilster with a 9. Thumbs up. This Scuba Pete, this just in, Mando 9, Boba 2. It's like a score. I love it. All right, here we go. Jeff's always got something sassy to say. Book of Boba Fett episode rating 1 for Mandalorian episode 20. Nice. All right. Yeah. I think we agree with you on that one. Here we go. Flex 9.37 out of 10. Thank you guys for it was a wizard episode. Yeah, we forgot to mention that. Yeah. How did you like the flight? It was a wizard. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was okay with that. Like that was such a cringy scene in the prequels, and then for him to bring it back, like they managed to make wizard cool. Okay, come on now. Like that's just great production and filmmaking right there. I'm just saying. Yeah. It's
crazy that it was definitely wizard. Crazy that a 9 because it was an excellent episode. I don't want to stress Bailey when she's not 100% because Crazy's always like with a 9.64 8. Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. Wait, Star Wars, it's 9.5. Yeah, absolutely. Tina with the 9. That's awesome. Yeah, Tina, I don't even care about the Book of Boba Fett at this point. I just want to see. Yeah. Did I catch a 9er in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie? Yeah. You know what, Linda? I think KC might have had to dip out. He's kind of a busy guy. I'm not sure where he went.
I just feel like if you're actually like reading a novel of this, you're reading through this, you're just going to another chapter. So I sort of see it like technically, yes, it was a very, very Mandalorian episode, but it's within the Book of Boba Fett. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's
what a segue, Al. That's exactly what Steve was. It's a big book. Yeah. Most chapters are about Mando. Some are about Boba. There you go. Yeah, that's a very good way to put that. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Citizen Case, KC, rating a wizard.
Yeah. Did you guys see the robot chicken thing with that where Darth Vader's like, why did a wizard become a thing? Like,
yeah. Oh, we could spend 4 hours on this show talking about the chicken one. Those are hilarious. All right. Well, we are starting to wind down. Oh, actually, really quick though, Scuba, that's a good point. I think we did not mention. I would have loved to have seen another 30 minutes of what was going on in this arc.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're winding down here, guys, and you know how I like to do before we start cutting things out. I want to make sure that nobody got cut off or didn't get to say or mention something that they wanted to. So, Al, since you're like the guest today, did we miss anything? Is there anything else you needed to say? You wanted to get out before I start taking us out of here?
I could. What was it? The line. I could take you in cold.
I could take you in warm.
Warm.
Yep.
That was awesome. I can take you warm or cold. That was like some badass moment there. He was just like, come on now, let's get some more of that into this, And the other line that I thought was really cool is where he was talking about maybe it was Paz talking about like maybe the saber should come back.
Maybe the dark saber belongs with someone else.
Yeah, these like cool moments or these like standoff, the tensions building. It's like we need more of that in Book of Boba Fett. So those are a couple of things, some notable mentions for me.
It's
really dug that. Yeah.
Josh, how about you, sir? Any last thoughts?
Well, going to what Alan was saying about the fight with Paz, like I like that they, he couldn't wield the saber, and it shows that bloodline has nothing to do with it because his ancestor made that lightsaber. So the fact that he still can't wield it either, even less so, I think is very telling that there's more to gaining the faith and the trust of the saber and learning how to really wield it, which then definitely begs the question, why was Moff Gideon so good with it? So there may be some evil darkness to this saber. It definitely seems to lead people down a dark path. So be curious if that comes up later.
That's a good point, Josh. And it reminds me of why I enjoyed having Alan in here tonight with us, because he's coming at it from a layman's perspective. Well, if this, then this. And it was a nice, fresh set of eyes to help us look at this, Al. So I appreciate it. You did great. And it was interesting to hear some of your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Really quick, one more time. If you've been in the chat since the beginning, God bless you. If you joined us a little bit later,
it's almost over.
Yeah, we're almost there. If you're catching us on the replay, we greatly appreciate everybody supporting us, everybody being here. It's just, I say it all the time, but I really do mean it. Sure, we would talk about this on our own, but it's so much better to have like a group. Star Wars is so much better when you can share it with everybody. Wouldn't you agree, guys? So,
for sure.
Yeah. But with that, every Thursday after the episode of Book of Boba Fett, we're right here on Paul's Collectibles, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, breaking it down, offering an opinion, and giving Bailey 9-point-something numbers to deal with just because it seems to be the thing to do. So everybody, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here today. So, Al, you've watched my stream enough to know what's going to happen next. So we'll be there in just a second. But really quick, I'm going to hit some of these comments. Great. Gilster, thank you so much. Shabby, thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we need answers, Josh. I agree. Yeah. And then Tina, we're going to go out with that one. But Al, how we do here at Paul's Collectibles, when we end an episode, we hit it with the thumbs up. And, oh, God, here we go. Watch.
Thank you for joining another exciting episode of Paul's Collectibles.
I'm going to spare everybody this. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you on the next episode.